All right, all right. Hello, everybody. We've been having a lot of technical difficulties. Um, doesn't surprise me this week. It's been a crazy week. Let's wait for some more folks to show up. We got one in the house. It could be Sandi. So tonight we are going to be doing another one of our meet our members. And tonight we're talking with Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. So we'll wait for some more folks to show up, and then we'll go ahead and bring Sandi up. So I don't see anybody coming in. Let me try one thing. We'll see what's going on. So hang in there. Let's see. Just waiting for folks to show up, but I just we have to go into YouTube and see how many folks are here. So we got Kevin, the Lazy Pond Farms is here. MT Homestead. Margie was here earlier. I don't know if she made it back yet or not. Hope so. All right. Very good. Hey, MT Homestead. All right. So we've got Henry Leslie Vermont is here. Cold and snowy there in Vermont. Mary's Ranch and Wild Cooking is here. I think it's cold and snowy there too. It got cold the other day here. So let's go ahead and bring our special guest up. There's Robert Castleberry, PAD Life Outdoors. Good to have you. All right, we got a lot of members in here. Let's see if we can get Sandi up. There we go. Hopefully we'll cross our fingers and everything will work out okay. Having nothing but technical difficulties. I was out in the building and had everything set up, and it just wasn't working. I wasn't getting enough signal or something. So Robert's got to run to the store. I'll be right back. Okay, we'll wait for you. Let's just sit here and wait for Robert. We're going to wait for Robert. You notice I've got the Larry the Cable Guy shirt. You like that, Kevin? This was not intentional. I was moving some big tree limbs, taking them out to the front, and tore a hole in the sleeve. So I was like, well, shoot, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the sleeves off and not worry about it. All right. So Sandi is our special guest. Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming / Arizona, because she is so awesome. One steak isn't enough. Kevin said, sun's out, guns out. There you go. Hey, Tom. How are you? Good to have you. Not sure how to pronounce your name. Deshesny. Let me know if that's right. Hey, Vance at Evans Family Homestead. How are you doing? So we're starting back up with our meet our members, and Sandi is on the hot seat to steal a phrase from her. If you're not a subscriber to Suburban Homesteader Wyoming AZ Arizona, you want to go check out her channel, because Sandi is an awesome lady. Super nice. You got another channel too, don't you?
I do. I have One Woman's Walk with God, and it's just a God channel about my walk with him and things I do and things I learn and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so your primary residence is in Wyoming, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And this year you did a snowbird thing and you went to Arizona. Why did you go to Arizona?
Well, Joe retired last July, actually the very end of June. And my parents had asked us over and over and over again to go down and stay longer than just vacation. And so we decided we'd go down there from November till we came back the very first part of April. And we actually ended up buying the little place that my parents have on their bigger property. So we'll go down there every year.
Okay, cool. So you actually bought it.
Yeah. So Joe says it's having 2 summers. And though since we've been back, it has snowed almost every single day in Wyoming.
You came back too soon.
You know, you can only stay down there for 6 months at any given time, or you become a Arizona resident. And we don't want to be an Arizona resident because they have state sales tax and they have all kinds of other weird things. So.
I got you. So it started off as just you're visiting with your mom and dad, and you ended up buying a place, and now you're going to be going there every winter.
Yeah, and I had a garden, and we planted 5 different citrus trees. And next year, when we go down there, we're going to plant a whole bunch of plants, and so it'll be fun having 2 summers.
Well, that'd be good. Let me see if this works out better. I think that's better. All right, cool. We can see more of the background.
Yeah.
So,
plants.
Yeah, and some paintings. You got some paintings in the background. And speaking of paintings, you are an artist for sure. So
yeah, those are all my paintings in the background.
Yes. So so tell us a little bit about Suburban Homesteader Wyoming. What are some things that you do on your channel?
Well, my goal is to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and self-sustaining. And so when I think about the videos that I do, I always want them to relate to those things, because if we can become more self-sufficient, we don't have to worry about if the food trucks come in. And I like being self-sufficient. I like doing things myself versus having paying somebody to do them. I'd rather figure out how, if it's possible for me to do them, and then be able to share that with other people. And so it's really our everyday lives in being a suburban homesteader, because we have about a third of an acre.
Okay.
But so we, have a lot of fruit trees, and we have a lot of gardens, and then a community garden too. And so I just like to bring people along and teach them how to do things. And because I think a lot of people want to be self-sufficient.
Yeah,
I know
think
that
so too.
I know you guys, you have your gardens, you have trees, you have the chickens, the ducks, the rabbits. Those are all parts of being self-sufficient.
Yeah. Yep. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons we started our channel, was to try to help other folks be able to provide for themselves. So I think that's better. I can see you better.
And for me, because I've watched YouTube for a long time before I started my channel, and as a master gardener, there was a lot of, I thought, misinformation on gardening, and a lot of people think that's not a big deal. But I think if people are trying and they're new gardeners and they're new at starting their own seeds, or even if they're buying the plants, how to grow them, sometimes there's some real wacky things that people say.
Yeah.
And then if people are disappointed because their garden didn't go well, that's bad, So
yeah, and they can get frustrated and they stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had so many times. I don't know a lot, but the things I do know, I know well. And I've seen the same thing where other channels, they'll give wrong information. And so it's been a great source of inspiration for videos for me. because I'll make a video with the correct information and let that go out and hopefully do a little damage control. So, how long have you had your YouTube channel?
Well, my real official videos started November of 2019. So about a year and a half.
Wow. And you're at how many subscribers now?
A little over 52,000.
Wow. Wow. In a year and a half. I'm coming up on a year and a half. I'll be lucky to get to 4,000.
Yeah, but sometimes, it just takes a few of those one videos, then all of a sudden it can just so much change. And for me, if I was talking to somebody that wanted to do a YouTube channel right now, with the things that I've started to learn, is I would take every YouTube class that they offer in YouTube Academy it's free. I would never say anything bad about YouTube on a video ever, because the computer knows everything you say. It knows every class you take. It knows every time you go to other channels and watch the whole video, you comment on the video. And I think that's just data that computer is pulling together. And I think it helps you as a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and you've told me that before, and I still haven't taken a class yet. I need to do that. It's just life has been crazy here recently, and I haven't been able to do anything. So, but yeah, and I like what you're doing. You've got bees. You just got a new package of bees.
Yep, this morning. Yeah.
This morning. Yeah. And
but I've actually had bees since my children were little. And not this last winter, but the winter before, when it because Wyoming's winters really last a long time. And so even into end of April, it might be nice, and then all of a sudden in May you got snow. And my bees had been doing fine. And then in May, one night, it went from about 75 degrees during the day before down way into the teens. And, usually bees will cluster when they get cold, but it dropped so fast, they were just everywhere in the hive and they died.
Oh, no.
But then I had lots of honey, and we knew we were going to go to Arizona, and I thought, well, I'll just wait till the next year. So that's why I didn't have any bees last year.
Yeah.
Or last summer.
Yeah, I've known you've had bees because we got some honey from you before.
Yeah.
And it's some of the sweetest honey there is. It's very, very light colored. Around here, the honey is more dark.
Yeah, I found that the further north you are, the lighter the color of the honey is. And I think it's just plants, soils, all kinds of stuff like that make a difference.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you're tell us. Let's see.
Oh, just a second, Joe's coming by. He has to.
Oh, there's Joe. Hey, Joe. Joe's walking through.
Sorry, he has jujitsu tonight, so he has to go change. And
oh, I got you. Don't mess with Joe.
And he's a black belt,
Yeah, I've got a brown belt on right now. Those with my brown shoes. Golly, you've got so many things that you do. So you do a lot of cooking, a lot of desserts.
Yeah.
In your videos, you paint. You make hats, knitted hats. Which I have some of that. I have some of your knitted hats, and they're awesome. Tell us more about some of the things that you like to do.
Well, I like to build. I like power tools. we've built sheds and decks and just all kinds of stuff around our homestead, because I like that idea of doing it. It's interesting to me. And when I grew up, my dad was a fireman, but he was also had a cabinet shop.
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah.
he would always take my brothers to the cabinet shop. They didn't want to go. I was the one that wanted to go. So, but he thought that was just not a thing for girls. And so when I grew
Yeah.
up, I learned how to do power tools because I like it.
Yeah. That's like my dad and I would sit on Saturday morning and watch Norm Abrams' New Yankee Workshop.
Mhm. Yeah, I watched
And
lots and lots of that.
yeah, yeah, and he had a little wood shop out back. As a matter of fact, the building that he had his wood shop in, I designed it and we built it together. So that was
That's
kind of
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good memories.
Yeah, it was very good. It's pronounced Dishan. Okay, cool. I wouldn't have guessed that. Thanks, Tom. So, along with so you like to do woodworking. You like to build stuff. You're a very creative person, and you're always making something, or you're very crafty in an
Yeah,
artisan sense.
I like I like crafty things. You know, they're
Yeah.
fun, and um, it's a good way to express yourself. And so I
Yes.
like that. And I think, all of us have um, things that we can do. I think everybody in the world has things that they can do. And so that's why YouTube is such a great platform, is because if you know how to do something, there are people that want to know how to do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's just such a great way, because sometimes I think, oh man, I had a video every single day this week. But then I think, well, which one would have I cut out? Because over and over again, you have people going, I didn't know how to do that. It's so easy to
Yeah.
do that. Because there's a lot of things that are very easy to do, but people think that they have to pay somebody to do it or they can't do it, but they can do it.
Yeah, and that's what I found, that sometimes it's just an inspiration, right? Where people go, okay, I can do it. So that's a cool
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. And I think that when because we're creators on YouTube, we can go step by step by step, even if you have to have multiple videos because it's maybe a long project,
Hmm.
like when you're in your workshop and you're making the beehives, there are people that want
Yeah,
to see that. It's one thing to read a PDF. It's a whole
right.
nother thing to be able to have a video and you can stop and start and you go, okay, this is how he did that.
Yeah,
And
and I've
I think it's important.
yeah, and I've even included like little helpful hints on how to do certain things that weren't necessarily related to that project. So it's a great opportunity. Um, so you said that Joe's retired,
Hmm.
and what did you do for a living too before?
Um, I was a district manager for Avon,
Okay,
and that's how we actually got to Wyoming.
all
Because
right,
as a district manager, you're an employee. At the time, you were an employee. I'm not sure if that's how it is now. Um, and they sent me to Casper. Joe couldn't find a job in Casper. He was in Gillette. I was driving back and forth.
oh
Didn't
no,
like it.
yeah, I bet,
So then I was the manager of the art center that was in Gillette. And that was extremely fun. And so you got to develop all the classes and do all kinds of stuff like that. It was great fun. But then the older you get, the more you just want to do things at your house instead of going to a 9 to 5 job.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I've actually had my painting and my selling my crafts and stuff oh gosh, probably 30 years. So I've always had a small business besides doing any, regular jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really my girls that kept saying, you need to do YouTube videos. And I kept saying, who wants to listen to an old woman?
But you said you weren't old.
No, I really don't think of myself as old, except for when you look in those lines and you see all those wrinkles and it's like, where did those come from?
That's experience lines.
That's right.
So I'm trying to think. I'm struggling tonight. I just got off of work and just kind of everything got a little frazzled with the whole internet not working right and getting set up. So probably not a very good interviewer tonight. Let's see. You cannot learn helpful hints because you don't ask for something if you don't know to ask. Yep. You learn little tidbits that you guys drop. Yep. And that's, and a lot of the little helpful hints that I share is stuff that I learned the hard way most of the time. So that's usually what happens. It's people passing on their experiences. And the only way you can learn some of those things is to have experience. But you're an incredible artist. You do all those paintings. You do canning. You do preserving, dehydrating. You got bees. You don't have any other animals, though, do you? You don't have chickens or anything like that, do you?
Well, we did have chickens and rabbits, but
okay, that's right.
When we went to go to Arizona, we gave those away because
Okay.
and I actually had a gal at church that said she would come over every day and feed them. And I just thought, I just can't ask somebody to do that every day through the winter when sometimes we have so much snow. And I just couldn't do it,
Yeah.
And, oh, see, there's the jujitsu guy.
There's Joe.
I got to move my chair for a second.
Bye, Joe.
Yeah.
Good luck beating people up tonight.
He says it's kids' night. He's teaching kids tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, don't beat the kids up.
Don't beat the kids up. He says there's too many of them. They're like a pack of dogs.
Oh my God. They can gang up on you. So tell us some other things that you like to do. So you've done YouTube for like 1.5 years. You've been very successful, tons of subscribers, tons of views. You're monetized. You're very giving with your YouTube channel. The members that you have, you're constantly sending things out to the members, and it is really awesome and sweet of you. So tell us a little bit more about things that Sandi likes to do.
I'm an avid reader. I mean, I have an obsession with books. Joe will tell you this.
I do too. I just very seldom read any. I'm like a book collector.
And usually during the day, I have my earbuds in and I'm listening to a book on my phone. Mm-hmm. And I use like Audible and some of the ones that are free, and but my books, I don't really like stories, like novels. If I'm going to use my time and listen to a book, I want to learn something from it. Okay. So it's usually either a gardening book or a how-to book, things like that, Okay. Medicinal herb books, so that I learn more about herbs, things like that, because that's just my thing. I know a lot of people love novels, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Audible books too, but I really like the stories.
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah, and some of them that I listen to, I can actually learn some stuff from it too, because it's more of, this might sound a little weird, but it's more of prepper based novels. Like,
Oh, that's what Joe likes those.
yeah, so it'll be something that'll happen, something cataclysmic like an EMP strike or something, and then they go through the whole scenario how they survived it, and there are things that you can learn in that as they go through it. So
yeah, that's what Joe says too. He likes those. Yeah.
Yeah. So you.
Oh.
There's Joe again. Hey, Joe.
He can't find his bow, his stick that,
Oh, okay. It's not in Arizona, is it?
No, he's gone to class since we've been back. There, he found it. Yeah. But we have 7 kids. We have just 1 second. Last time he's gone.
That's funny.
He calls it a zombie stick.
A zombie stick.
But we have 7 kids. We have 12 grandchildren. I'm about to have our very first great grandchild this summer.
Wow, you're not old enough for that. You're not old enough for that. You must have had your first kid when you were 12, right?
Well, no, but but my mom is so excited because she's going to be so I'm going to be a great grandma. She's going to be a great great grandma for the first time. And
that's
so
amazing.
Yeah, so we can have pictures with all 5 generations, and it's going to be so fun.
That is amazing. That is truly amazing. Wow. So let's see. I don't know how Joe isn't like 300 pounds, because you make all these desserts and Joe gets to eat all of them.
He makes me give lots of it away.
He just wants one. He just gets one serving and then it's okay. Send it away.
When we first got down to Arizona, well, my mom and dad are down there, for the winter too. And my mom bakes too. And so she was bringing stuff, plus I was doing stuff. And he says, I can't eat anymore.
Yeah, that's when I wish I was your neighbor.
Well, I would be bringing stuff over.
I know you would. And I would be 300 pounds. So let's see. And you've done, I'm trying to think back of the different things that I've won from you or that you've sent me. So one of the first things that I won from you, or first or second, was some smoked cheese.
Oh yeah.
That was really, really good. And I don't think you had ever done it before, but you just tried it. You saw it on a YouTube channel and you tried it, right?
Yeah, and it was so fun and easy. This week I made smoked salt, and I'm actually doing a collaboration. So so you smoke it in your smoker, and so I use 3 different types of salt. Amazing. But I'm doing a collaboration with a couple other channels, and so we're gonna do smoked and seasoned salts for a thing. And so I just worked on my stuff this week. But I was just like shocked at how fabulous it made the steak taste. And so and then one of my friends said, well, why don't you make smoked peppercorns? And so I'm going to do that this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is one of your most favorite things about YouTube and having a channel?
Oh, by far all the people I've met. It gives you this platform that you literally meet people from around the world. And that has just been fabulous. If I would have not started a YouTube channel, I'd have never met you and Shelly, or Kevin or Mary, or like Steph. She's one of my subscribers, and she's a member of mine. And literally we have become fast friends. We text and
Yeah.
call, and that is probably the best part of YouTube. And I realize that you can have the yucky, weird people, like poor
Mm.
Tim right now at Ridge Life, you know, um, but that is just such a little bit compared to all these fabulous people that you meet, and like
Yeah.
I'm watching the chat, and it's like so many people that I know, and it's just amazing, you know.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
so for sure that's my favorite thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That is, and who would have thought it? Starting YouTube, I would have never thought that I would make really good friends that I contact outside of
Hmm.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that, and that's been a great surprise. So there's like two or three that I talk with all the time. So without getting into any really bad stuff, but what's your least favorite thing about having a YouTube channel?
Well, when I first got monetized, that's when you start to get like what they call haters or trolls.
Hmm.
That was real hard. In fact, I think I'm sure I emailed you about that I needed some prayer because it was just like, why would people say things like that? You know, it just, I
Yeah.
would never say something negative to somebody, and so that was a hard thing. But then you get kind of used to it, and everybody tells you it happens to everybody, and you just have to let it just go away, and so that that was a hard part. But probably the most frustrating thing for me is time. Is that you
Mm.
get behind watching all your friends' videos, you know, and that and that's hard because you want to always support them, and you have them as a channel because they're interesting to you, and so
Mm.
and then you have your whole rest of your life that you're doing stuff, he's outside of YouTube. And sometimes it can be hard, to catch up
Yeah.
with and make sure you're catching up because you don't want them to, any of the people that you subscribe to, you don't want them to feel like they're not important to you because they are. And that's why you subscribe to them. And so
Yeah.
that's why it's a hard thing. It's not bad,
Yeah. That
it's just a
is.
hard.
Hey, there's Shaky. My life journey is Shaky. How you doing, Shaky? He's the newest member of uh, the Brotherhood of the Hats.
Awesome. And
What?
how many ladies do you have in the Brotherhood of the Hats now? I know you had Mary was your very first one.
Yep. And including Shelly, we've got three. And I tell you, if you want one of the red hats, I'll be glad to send you one. Or if you want a
And
camo hat, I'll send you that.
uh, how do you become a Brotherhood of the Hats?
You just have to have a Commander Bacon hat. That's all it is. It's that simple. But you saw the pink one, right? There's
Mhm. Yeah.
it's like a red, faded red, and also there is the only thing I have is that one and the camo hat. So tell me which one you would like, and I'll get it in the mail to you.
Um, Maybe the red.
The red one. I figured you would like
Yeah.
the red one.
Yeah.
That seems to be the hat of choice for the ladies.
Oh,
There's
there's Jake
Nunya.
from. Yeah. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming by and saying hello. Robert Castleberry, PAD, made it back. Yep.
And he
So
he was
yeah,
going to the store. Yeah.
yeah. So I agree with you. It is hard to find the time to live life, make videos, and watch videos. Is really hard. Early on, when I first started, I was watching a ton of videos. I was watching everything, and now I don't have hardly any time to do anything. This this last month or two. Of course, I had other situations going on, but it's been hard to find time to do anything. So I try, but it's hard. I got to get back into I got to get back into making videos. I've really dropped off, and we were doing. Hey, there's Felix at Happy Place Camping. I was doing a lot of shorts, and haven't done any shorts lately. And my ranking on Social Blade has dropped tremendously. So I was above 1 million. It was like 800,000 in my Social Blade ranking, and now I'm almost 3 million. So it is what it is. I can't help situations that come up.
Well, yeah, because life happens, and I
Yep.
think it's hills and valleys all the time with different things in our lives,
Yeah,
and
and I think a lot of people are going back to work now,
mhm.
and I think there's not as I don't think they have as much time to watch videos either. I think there's been a big downturn in views, at least for me.
For me
But
too.
I've seen
Yeah.
it with I've seen it with other people too. So I think they're uh let's see, Shaky got comment deleted, but I don't have um hey Ed Crazy Homestead. I'm glad Robert Castleberry sent you over. Uh I don't the Nightbot is not set up to delete or moderate. So the only thing I have Nightbot doing is promoting. It's a positive Nightbot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen Nightbot go crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any comment that got deleted, so I don't know what happened there, Shaky. Just I don't think anybody did it. Maybe I don't know. Just comment again. It'll be all right. So you are a super special lady, and you are awesome to watch. Let's see,
Thank
Google moderator. Wow, I didn't even know we had Google moderator. Well, that's rude. But one of the things that I like about you is your laugh. You've got a very infectious laugh, and it's great. So was used to watch you do your live streams where you're painting or making something, or you had a series where you were doing Christmas uh, things that kids could do, Christmas projects, and it was awesome.
you. That was
So
fun projects. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So tell me more. What else you got going on? What's the future holding for Sandi? I know you got some other projects going on with your other channel.
I do. I started a series on my other channel on Thursday nights for young women. And in fact, Thursday nights it pops up. So later on tonight, that one, the official first one of that, I did an intro for that, but that will pop up. And for me, as a Christian, it says that the older women are supposed to teach the younger women.
Right.
And so much I don't see that. Sometimes I think it's because we don't know what to say, or we haven't had that example.
Hmm.
We didn't grow up having a strong woman in our lives that really, in a God way. I mean, my mom is a strong woman, but she doesn't talk like we don't have those kind of conversations.
Hmm.
I mean, she is a Christian, but we just don't have that conversations. And I thought, I just felt like I was supposed to do it. And so I put it off and put it off. And, sometimes God pushes you and pushes you. And then he starts giving you witness that you're supposed to be doing something. So it was like, okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you become a member of Suburban Homestead, Wyoming, Arizona, Sandi will put member only videos out there, and you get to watch those. And I think I commented you were asking for prayer about your new project, and you weren't sure, and you had a lot of different people confirming it to you. And
I
I said, I
did.
think you got your answer. I think you've had your answer. You just need to do it.
Did you see Ed says that I wish someone would teach me how to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, me too. My mouth gets me in trouble. But take a good wife. That's what you need. A good wife helps you stay out of trouble.
Yeah, you have a good wife in Shelley.
I
You're a
do.
blessed man.
I very much so. Very much so. So, Mary wants to know the name of your other channel. So,
Oh, it's One Woman's Walk with God. And it's just a little channel. I only have about 40 subscribers. I haven't had it very long. And I don't, I just thought that if God wants it to grow, it's going to grow. I'm not going to do anything to get more subscribers. I'm just going to let him do it because I felt that he wanted me to do that channel. So
yeah. Yeah, and I've watched a lot of what you've done on there so far when I get the chance to watch, and I really enjoyed it. It's I'm not a woman, but a lot of what you talk about doesn't necessarily apply just to women.
yeah, yeah,
It applies. It's stuff that you're going through, and a lot of that applies to anybody. So
yeah. And for me, I just think I'm just called to go to women, but anybody can watch those videos because I think you always glean things out of videos like that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So so you got that special project going on where you're pouring into younger women.
Right.
What else you got going on?
Well, today I spent most of the day in my greenhouse, my hoop house. I guess it's officially a greenhouse because the difference between a hoop house and a greenhouse is if it's heated or not. And I have a heater in there.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with if it's plastic or glass or polycarbonate. It's, is it heated or is it not heated? So that's
Okay.
actually the difference. So,
Huh.
and I was going to build shelving and then use hog panels, so when you water, it just goes right through until I went to the lumber store. And
Yeah.
a 2x4, they want $6 for a 2x4. And I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till the prices go back to some normal thing. And they tried to say it was because of Texas being frozen. And I thought that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand it either. What I'm afraid is that all the prices of everything will go up because of fuel. Anything that gets shipped or trucked.
yeah. But we have wood in Wyoming and at South Dakota, and we have mills that produce 2x4s. And so you would think that they shouldn't have gone up, but
Yeah,
they
you would
have.
think. Yeah. And plywood is ridiculous right now.
Yeah. And so I looked at my greenhouse and I thought, okay, I already had 2 little tables in there and I had these old shelves and I had tables in the shed. And so I'm just going to use these tables because my greenhouse isn't that big. It's 8 feet by 15 feet.
Okay.
And so I just wanted the whole like U-shaped perimeter to have shelves because I just want to be able to do all my starts and all through the summer so that I can do starts to take to Arizona, things like that. And I just couldn't justify $200 or more by the time I was done, probably, because I didn't even count the
Yeah.
hog panels. So I'm just going to use the tables because I just thought it was ridiculous and I wasn't going to do it. I guess it's why I protest and like they care. But
Shaky had to leave, so see you, Shaky, and Christy Betts showed up. So, hey, welcome, Christy. Good to have you all here. We're just visiting here with Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. A super lady. If you're not jumping back out, getting ready for bed. Okay, Kevin.
bye,
Appreciate you coming in
Kevin.
and out. If you're not a subscriber to Sandi, she's got two different channels: Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona, and also one woman's journey.
No,
Where was it at?
one woman's walk with God.
One woman's walk with God. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it if I see it. It was a test. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. So yeah, go check out her channel. I think Nightbot is putting her link up throughout the chat, and also for Suburban Homesteader Wyoming. I don't have the one for the other one, but I think Shelly at Healthy Homestead Chick and Felix at Happy Place Camping has been posting it. As a matter of fact, Felix just did it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So there you go. So, what were some things that you did in Arizona that was different and interesting that you didn't normally do in Wyoming?
Well, it was very nice. The coldest it got, I think, was 62 degrees. Was the
Wow.
coldest. But we went to all kinds of museums and stuff. And we went to the Yuma prison, that has the old ones that's carved into the rocks. That was
Oh,
really
wow.
interesting. And it had the military, it was like the military, cavalry that they had. So they had some of the old buildings, and it showed how the Colorado River used to be. And
Mm-hmm.
where the Yuma prison, it used to be a drop off, and it was just water all the way across. Where now the Colorado is way lower than what it is now, but that's because they water vegetables and stuff all the way down. So that was really interesting. We ate lots of good, interesting food. Probably had some of the best Mexican food I've ever had.
Oh, cool.
And Joe did a lot of metal detecting and golfing. I made a garden, planted the fruit trees. We spent lots of time with my parents because the other day my dad just turned 90 years old and my mom's 83. And that was one of the main reasons why we decided to buy that little place, was because I wanted to be able to spend that time, because in the summertime we see them, but they're in South Dakota and we're in Wyoming. And so it's only a couple times a month that I see them. And I just wanted to have that time. And I know you know how important that is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I can't even tell you how many times my dad said he was so happy that we were down there. And my dad is a powerhouse. He is in really good health. People are always shocked when they find out how old he is. And he gardens, and he bought this Model T for my youngest brother. And so he piddled on it and made it run the way it was supposed to and did all this stuff to it. And I think it's good for him. And I think it's important, if it's possible, to spend time with your parents,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Robert had to leave. See you, Robert. Thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate you. He's a member of His Way Homestead, and so is Mary's Ranch and Wild Cooking, and so is Sandi at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. So yeah, I saw something. I forget where I saw it, but it was really interesting. The guy was saying, "Hey, listen, how many times do you see your parents if you live a good ways away?" And the person he was talking to said, "Well, twice a year." He said, "Well, how old are they?" He said, "Well, they're like 75." He said, "So if they live to their 80, then you think, well, I got 5 more years with them." No, you're going to see them 10 more times.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that's pretty sobering. It's like, wow, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think
And
what you don't really realize that unless somebody points it out to you that, hey, if you only see them twice a year, you're only going to see them 10 more times in their lifetime, and that's a shocker.
it is, and it's like wow. So that was one good thing that I did a good while back. I started calling my parents every morning as I was going to work and talked to them for 10 minutes every morning during the week, and I'm so glad that I did that. Um,
Yeah.
but the climate and everything is so different between Wyoming and Arizona.
Oh, yeah. And the soils are completely different. Here in Wyoming, I have heavy clay that I've had to amend and amend and amend. Um,
Hmm.
in Arizona, it's very sandy loam. And
Yeah,
so the way you water is different. The way the plants, the nutrients you have to add is different. And it is just, you know, it it was good for me because sometimes you just get so used to, all you've studied and studied, so you have that knowledge of how the soils work in one place. And I thought
hmm,
it was really stimulating and good. And I read um, all kinds of stuff from the master gardeners down there on the soils and how to grow things and what to expect. And so I thought that was good.
yeah, yeah. A whole different perspective. It's a
Yeah,
challenge for you.
yeah.
There's Brian at Castle Hives. He's a member of His Way Homestead and also a member of the Brotherhood of the Hats. Um, Christy, so sorry to hear about losing your dad. Was that recently? You said your mother was 8 years ago with a stroke. Most of you know that I just lost my dad April
Mhm.
1st. He was 85. Uh, yeah, I can relate. And it's a struggle. It's a daily struggle. It's kind
Mm.
of I'm still calling my mom every morning, and that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, miss my dad for sure. He was a great guy. Um, Nobody ever had a bad word to say about him for sure. He was a great guy.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think the time you spend either on the phone or in person with your parents, you get to know a whole different person than
yeah,
the memories you have when you were little. Like when you had time and you guys built that shop at your dad's house. You
yeah,
learned things about him that if you wouldn't have done that, you probably would have never learned.
yeah. Well, he taught me a lot too, for sure. Um, yeah, but it's good. It's good to spend time with people that you care about, and
Oh
we should
yeah.
never take anybody for granted because at any point, at any time, something could happen. And you know, the last time I was up there with Dad before he passed, every time I walked away from him, I would tell him that I loved him because I just
Hmm.
didn't know
Yeah.
what what would be the last words I said to him. So I wanted that to be the last words every time.
Yeah, and I think that not just our parents, I think it's our kids and our siblings and just that whole circle of people that we know
Yeah,
that we need to tell them more how important they are to us. And
yeah,
um, it's easy for us to become self-absorbed. I have this to do and this to do and this to do, and but those are just things. And spending time with your kids and your family and your parents, I think those are lasting things,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
So Christy's got little sisters in the hospital now.
Oh,
So we need to pray for her little sister.
yeah.
Um, there's a coworker. I have his daughter is like 12, I think. She might be older, um, but she's got like stage 2 lung cancer,
Mm.
and she's getting chemo treatments, and she's lost all her hair and everything. And I think this is the 5th round of chemo that she's going through right now. So we need to pray for her. Her name's Sarah.
Sarah, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. And
I try to write everybody down because otherwise it's hard to, you think you'll remember, but you don't. And so it's always better for me if I write it down.
And that's why we have that on our community tab. We have a prayer request post that I put out every Sunday night, and people can leave a comment with their prayer request. And I encourage other folks to go out there and look at it, leave your prayer request, but use that to have a prayer list too, and pray for those folks. So anyway,
it's a difference. It changes things. I've seen that so often. Years ago, my mom was in a really bad accident in Wyoming. She was going to a meeting, and over by Rawlins and Rock Springs, Rawlins is a small town, they have a prison there. And it used to have the old prison road. And if the kids went fast enough, they called it jumping the highway. And they'd speed down this gravel road. And their vehicle would literally leave the pavement, the road, when it went across the double highway. And my mom and her friend were going, and the kids misjudged. They were skipping school. And it just rolled that SUV. And they had stuff in the telephone wires. It was horrible.
Oh my goodness.
And first they said she would never live. Then they said she would never walk. And she does everything.
Wow.
But we had people literally from coast to coast all across America praying for her.
Yeah.
And nobody will ever convince me that prayer doesn't change something.
Yeah. And, I think it did with my dad too, even though he passed. I think he went pretty quick. So that was a good thing. But anyway, so Suburban Homesteader. How did you come up with your name for the channel?
Well, I thought of a lot of different things, some things using the whole word Wyoming and things like that. And I think it was Joe that said, well, you always say that you're a homesteader in town or in the suburb. And so then I just thought Suburban Homesteader. And then I put WY because we just lived in Wyoming then. And then when we went to Arizona, people would say, I thought you were in Wyoming. And so I thought, I'm just adding AZ for Arizona because then people will get the idea that I'm living in two different places. And so they can watch gardening in two different places and all the other stuff that I do, all the different cooking and stuff like that. So, and crafts.
Yeah. And you do some amazing cooking. As a matter of fact, we've added equipment to our homestead from watching your videos, like that steamer. That's an awesome tool.
Yeah. When I first got that years ago, because I used to do chokecherry jelly all the time because we have chokecherry bushes in the backyard. And you use that sieve, with that wooden, it was horrible. And I got that steam juicer and it was like, I needed this for 30 years. And I finally have one of these.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing tool. Ed's Crazy Homestead. Definitely, we need to pray for Starla, Tim from Ridge Life. She's going through chemo right now, and cancer is not a good thing.
No.
So it's a frustrating thing to watch somebody have to go through it. I think the only thing that is emotionally harder is Alzheimer's. Watching somebody that you care about suffer through that because they don't know you, and that's emotionally a huge struggle. But
and Tom, are you asking me, or are you asking are you asking me about my potatoes that I was talking about today? Because he's saying, are you going to transplant your potatoes into the ground? Yes, I am. If you're asking me. If you're asking Doug, I don't know if he's doing potatoes.
No, she's not. He's not asking me. I'm not a gardener.
Yeah, I talked about them today when I because I had chitted them. I did that video on how to chit a potato. And then I planted them in some pots today to put in the greenhouse. And then it's too cold because we can have snow before it's over, before spring is over.
Yeah.
And so then I'll let them grow in the greenhouse for a while, and then I'll plant them in the ground.
Yeah. In Maryland, it almost always snowed at least once in April. So.
Yeah. 2 years ago, we had 11 inches of snow at the end of May. It was like
Wow.
ridiculous. But see, I already have my community garden plans already. Potatoes are right there. Oh,
nice.
Right there. Yeah. But I love fresh vegetables. And I have an obsession with fresh vegetables because they taste so good.
Yeah,
and
it is much, much better.
And Joe says that I forage out in the garden.
You forage in the garden.
Because I'll be out there and I'll be weeding, and there's peas and there's tomatoes and there's peppers, and I just eat them. And then he'll say, "What are we having for lunch?" And I'll say, "I don't know. I'm not hungry." And then I have to fix him lunch, and I'm not eating there.
So yeah, Tom, Healthy Homestead Chick is my wife, Shelly, and she said our potatoes are already in the ground.
Oh, see, that is.
But it's been
awesome.
It's been in the 70s here. The last 2 nights though, it was 36 degrees. Actually had ice on the windshield last 2 mornings.
Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy. And we had a huge windstorm too. We had one of those easy up canopies over top of the quail.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind had been blowing really hard. And I looked out the window to check it because it was dark. And here the canopy raised up, turned, and straddled our chain link fence. One of the legs was over top of the 6-foot chain link fence. So we had to go out and try to straighten that out, and then anchor it down. It's been crazy this last couple of weeks. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of craziness, including our lawnmower breaking. Fix that. It's always something. So yeah. Well, Sandi, really enjoyed talking with you for sure.
I appreciate
you're an
it,
awesome
Doug.
person, and I appreciate your friendship. You're a good friend, and I'm glad that you two put us together for sure.
Me too. Me too.
So
I always tell everybody that Doug is my brother. I always tell people.
We need to get shirts made up.
We should.
There you go. I'll work on that.
Yep.
But we need to meet up. That's the big thing. So
I know it.
One of my bucket lists is to see Mount Rushmore and the Crazy Horse monument, and that's not that far away from you. So maybe one day
and it's really close to where my parents live, and so we can take you all over the place. The Black Hills are a fabulous place to visit. There's just so many different things. There's Needles Highway, and there's Keystone and Hill City and the 1880 train, and then Devil's Tower, which is in Wyoming, isn't very far. And that's an interesting place to look, with the mountain coming out.
That whole extraterrestrial thing, right?
That's what some people say, but Devil's Tower is not the only mountain that's like that around there. I think they were volcanic plume things that came up. So but there's all kinds of stories.
No doubt. Well, hey, I really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on here tonight. Thank you for being a member of His Way Homestead and supporting our channel. It really means a lot to me. And us Two Family Homestead just joined us. We're about to close. But I do so much appreciate you and everything that you do. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to watch as much as what I'd like to. I'll get back into it.
Life is busy.
It's been crazy. But thanks again for coming on here tonight and talking with us. And I hope everybody enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better. if they haven't already known you. And we look forward to seeing you again and watching your videos for sure, Sandi. You're a super special lady, and I appreciate you.
Doug, I appreciate you inviting me on, and you and Shelly have been such a blessing to me. And I just so appreciate everything that you do and how you are just striving to not just grow your channel, but all kinds of other channels. And I appreciate that. And one of these days we will meet in person, though.
For sure. And we need to plan it sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We don't
That's right.
know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you want to join me in, don't forget, His way.
His way is the best way.
Is the best way. I actually found, what is it? Psalms 18 verse 30. It says, God's way is perfect.
It is perfect.
So that kind of goes along with His way is the best way, because perfect is best. So, we'll see y'all next time. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for spending time with me and Sandi. Appreciate y'all for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, Shelly, too. Love you.